March 30th, 2020. Spring is here and I'm late in preparing my beds for vegetables and stuff that I wanted to plant. So what I'm doing is piling up quite a lot of hay, pine needles, stuff like that. And I'm gonna continue making the shape of this bed all the way along, and that would hopefully kill all the grass and weeds underneath and enrich the soil on all that decaying matter. There'll be more earthworms and stuff in there to consume that and making it more fertile. If I could, ideally I would have dropped a newspaper sheet or something underneath, but unfortunately, as we are going through this lockdown, so I have to make do with whatever I've got. I've emptied a bag here and I'm gonna spread it along. I have to go all the way up to find grass which I can cut and gather some pine needles and stuff like that, which I bring down every day. So today I'm gonna spread them out. I've got another bag that I'll be emptying. Then I'll be making my way up to get some more stuff that can at least complete this bed in the whole length. That's about it for now. Just finished spreading those 2 bags of mulch that I did have. Dropping those 2 bags of mulch, spreading them around, spreading them on the bed. Let's hope it does the job. Ideally, should have been done in fall. Had I done this in fall, by now this bed would have been ready. But anyway, I've got to do whatever I can from here onwards. Thursday, 30th of April 2020. About a month ago when I put this mulch down, I didn't have any cardboards to put underneath it. And it hasn't done completely what I wanted it to do, but it's quite close to. It has done a little bit of its job. As you can see here, all the grass has died. It's turned yellow. Now I'm gonna put the cardboards down and then spread this mulch on top, and hopefully I'll plant something in it this season. Now here you can see where the mulch has been thick enough to cut out the light. The grass has died, and where it was not thick enough, it has kind of stopped the speed of growth. It has kind of slowed it down, the growth of the grass, but it hasn't done a proper job. So ideally it should be done in fall, because things are slowing down, not trying to grow, and then you cut out the light, and the grass and weed are easy to kill that way. Now I'm gonna lay down the cardboard, and then I'm gonna spread the mulch back on. So I've kind of finished laying the cardboard. One thing is that you overlay the cardboard so there are no gaps that light can get through. This patch here, the 2 boxes were too small to fit, so I've cut another piece and I'm gonna lay it on top. Now, as far as this part is concerned, I'm just gonna slip a cardboard underneath, make it all dark and nice, and so it can kill all the weeds. Now I'm gonna push the mulch back on, and I've done my best to take all the tapes off, because that might not decompose, and it might have some other issues too. So that's what I've done so far. So here we are. I've mulched it back. The idea is that you make it nice and dark so there is no light for the weeds and grass and the stuff underneath to grow. It dies, becomes compost, and once you're ready to plant, your plants will enjoy that compost. Now in a few days I'll plant some plants in here and make another video. Saturday 6th of June 2020. A couple of months back I started covering this area up to make bed, and the idea was that cutting off light from the grass and weeds underneath would kill them, and their roots and mass would turn into compost underneath, and then whenever the time is right for me to plant anything, I'll plant it in. There is another principle in permaculture, which is problem is the solution. So here in Pakistan we've got lots and lots of weed growing all around. Don't quote me on that, but I think legally it's not right to cut off weed from any other place which is not your property, but you can clear it off on your property. So what I did is, in one part of the property here there was quite a lot of it, so I cut that. Now, what I did here in these beds, I had mulched them over. I put some manure underneath, then some weed, and then put some compost that I was making. It's not completely made, but it's like whatever is like a mulch. Covered it up. Most of the things which are green have got quite a lot of nitrogen in it. So I'm hoping all this nitrogen is going to break down, help make this soil rich. I've got some flowers to show you too. Got some lily flowers, and there are some more. Beautiful flowers. And here again I've done the same thing. My calla lily plants didn't do great. They're very small. Hence the flowers are very small too. But hopefully next year they'll do better. I've got more lily flowers coming, different colors, different varieties. So going back to what my project today is, I'm gonna lift this. Well, I've done it in this bed already. I removed all that covering, put quite a lot of weeds underneath, and then covered it up with the same cardboard box and pine needles. Forgot to mention, at this property I'm about 20, sorry, not 20, I wish I was 1400 meters, just above 1400 meters high in elevation. So there's quite a lot of pine needles around here. So I gather them, I cut the grass, I do these kind of things to mulch the area up. Now here I'll probably remove this all, put quite a lot of the weeds, and it's not only weed, it's like other weeds too which were there. I cut them and give it a little bit of time to decompose. By then I'll probably 15-20 days, and by then I'll have some more plants to plant in. Problem here is that the soil is not that rich. All these plants should have been 5 feet plus right now, and they are looking quite pathetic, about 6 inches to, like, the best one is maybe 2.5 feet, So yeah, the first thing is if I can improve the soil, that's gonna help us along the way. So I'll remove all this and then put the weed, and here underneath this mulch thing I've got some manure as well, so I'm gonna put the weeds underneath, then the mulch, and these then the manure, then I'll cover it up and I'll put all this mulch back on. So I've just removed that covering, and you can tell the difference where I had it covered and where it wasn't covered, and the grass is doing great there. Also, you'll notice that here where the rocks were sitting, I've just moved them up there. That's done the same as well. So rocks are a good form of mulch, especially in cold climates, because they heat up in sun and they store the heat and then they release it later into the evening. So if you want to prevent your plants from frost, it's a good idea that you put rocks around it, which is gonna create a microclimate around it. Okay, I'll carry on and cover it with all the weeds that I've cut, and then we'll cover it up. So I've spreaded all the weeds that I cut, all the greens, I spread them around on the bed. What else I did is I cut the grass from just at the edges of the bed, because that was growing quite nicely. So I just wanted to push it back a bit. Now I'm gonna cover it up with the manure and then cover it back up with the cardboards. I didn't have much manure because I don't have any animals at this property, so whatever little I gathered from around the property, I just threw it on top. Now I'm just gonna cover it up. So this is the finished form, and this is how it looks now. All the insects in there are gonna have party time, and this all green matter and manure and all that stuff is gonna break down. They're gonna enjoy it, multiply, enrich the soil, and in say about 20 days time I'll start planting some stuff in it. I'll make another update then.